Fox Sports North Senior Spotlight this week, the Academy of Holy Angels girls varsity soccer program. But it wasn't only the varsity team that dominated this year. Between the freshman, JV, and varsity team, not a single one dropped a game this year. Mind you, the varsity team scored 72 goals. They only allowed a single one all year long. Perfect, 13-0. But it's a season masked in a global pandemic. And so they've already started to rack up the postseason honors. A bunch of all-conference players, all-state. They even have Class A's Miss Soccer. But there's no state tournament. There's no first place to win this year, only a first-place ranking, which is where they sit on the latest polls. So we talked to 5 seniors and their coach about the season. A perfect season on one end, but left a little bit unfinished on another.
Kind of 2 things that I think will always set this team apart from me. First is you said it, they like each other.
I enjoyed going to practice when I knew those girls were going to be on the field with me. And I know I wasn't that busy this year, thanks Sadie and Grace and all them, but
I'm going to be friends with these girls for the rest of my lives. We already know.
This was my family, and I don't know, when I started Holy Angel Soccer, I loved to play soccer, but I would say like Holy Angel Soccer made me fall in love with soccer and ultimately made me want to keep playing.
The relationship aspect, the community aspect, like I said it earlier, but this team really does feel like a family.
There were no cliques on this team. They were completely committed to each other. And I think the second one relates to that. In a year like this, these girls did everything they could and sacrificed a lot. It's not easy for high school kids to give up the things they gave up to stay healthy and stay on the field.
Even if it was like sacrificing hanging out with our friends, like we did it for the team. We were like, no, like I'm not gonna ruin this for my teammates. Like we all did, like stayed super safe, followed all the precautions, and we essentially did it for each other.
We have a shot at, 10 regular season games, and so we were like, we really can't mess this up. Like, It's more important to, we can skip hanging out with friends a couple times for us to be able to like have this season. And thank God we did, because it was one for the books for sure.
When we found out we had a season, I was probably like, we can win this. Like, we're so good, because I think everybody else just like was ready for it and wanted to play.
This was the year. I even told my athletic director that this was the year we were building for.
The last 2 years we went to state, I've always been like, oh, we're good. Like, I want to win, obviously. Like, nobody didn't want to win. But I've never just straight up been like, we're going to win this. And, like, that confidence that, like, this team had this year was just like, we're going to win this. Like, there's nothing that's going to stop us.
I think that was everyone's attitude towards us the whole entire year, was that they lost 11 seniors. They're not going to be that good. It's a rebuilding year. And I feel like we kind of took that and fueled like everything that we did.
And while it was difficult to lose an amazing senior class that had carried the program, there was so much young talent that we've been developing and sort of building towards this year that we really thought this was, and in hindsight, I can say this was the best team I've ever had.
I think I said this, or maybe someone else did, I don't know. But like, let's bring home as much hardware as we possibly can. And I mean, we did, we got conference champs, we got section champs, we got that undefeated. And we got like a lot of like all conferences and all states and a Miss Soccer and stuff like that. And that's so awesome. And I'm proud of us for being able to take what we were given in like not the best circumstance and do the most with it.
Listen, it's tragic that this team doesn't get a chance to compete for a state title.
Yeah, I've been trying not to think about it.
It just doesn't feel like finished. I don't know.
I don't know like how I'm gonna deal with this like next year. Like, we could have been state champions, but we just like didn't get the chance.
We ended like with a rewarding season. Like, it almost doesn't feel like we didn't get a state because how well we did and like how well we responded to the situation, and like we treated every day, every game like it was a championship game. And I just think it was like really awesome that we had the chance to play 10 games.
It does feel a little unfinished without a state, but there's not a doubt in my mind and like most of our minds that we could have done it. We would have been number 1. We're ranked number 1. We had the drive of a number 1 team. And I mean, we brought home literally everything. We accomplished everything we possibly could have this year.
I'm just gonna give a shout out to Dave Marshak, because as much as like he made us mad and like it seemed like he didn't know what he was doing, and as weird as he is, I think he had a plan. Like he knew what was going on in our team, and like he just always knew like what was best for us.
I'm not gonna lie, like Marshak is probably the most interesting coach and maybe even person I've ever met.
He just has like a special way of like getting us to push ourselves and not necessarily like pushing us and then like not holding us accountable, but he's always like making sure like this is your job. Like I can't do anything when you're on the field. Like
At the beginning, he set super high expectations for me that I honestly didn't think I could like get to, but like he's never stopped believing in me and like knowing what I'm capable of, and it's just like created so many opportunities for me, and I don't know, very thankful.